Josef. So hi Josef.
Hello.
So good to meet you.
You too.
Welcome to A Man Dress. And you're an artist here in DC. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you think about men's fashion in DC.
I'm an artist here in DC. I work a lot in the community sphere, so I do community arts projects. I'm also a member of the DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities. I've been in DC for about 8.5 years, and for me, when I think about men's fashion in DC, I think about these guys I see on the metro in the mornings wearing blue shirts, all kinds of blue shirts with checked patterns, or if you're edgy, it's some kind of print, but it's a blue shirt at the end of the day. And I would love for there to be more diversity of expression in men's fashion in DC. I understand that it's a pretty conservative, buttoned-up town, but I think that there are balances that can be struck with personal expression and maintaining a professional image.
So there's room altogether for fashion growth for men in particular in DC. And you would say to people who are into fashion, this could be pretty much a new initiative, well needed.
Yeah, I mean, we have groundbreakers in men's fashion in DC, like Hue and Cry. It's a great menswear company based out of Georgetown. Their studio is on M Street. We have some people that are really trying to bring new elements of fashion to menswear in DC. But as a community-based artist, I believe that creative communities thrive the more people interact. So I think that if we bring in a diversity of creative options, it will only help menswear in DC.
Absolutely. So, as being representing a man dress, I feel like I'm in an amazing place. I also look around in DC, and like you said, there are the blue shirts and the dark blue suits. And do you think that there is a way, or it would be accepted easily here in DC to have that transition from the office per se into the social avenues of DC? Do you think that it would be well accepted, or would it be sort of like an uphill battle at first? What do you think about that?
I absolutely think that it would be well accepted. I mean, this is a town where business happens at happy hour, so there's a huge culture of happy hour after work. People informally have meetings over cocktails, and so I think it is important to be able to have some kind of a versatile look that can carry you from the office to, the cocktail bar.
If you had to, as an artist, if you had to come up with an idea for that versatile look that is wearable and acceptable in a conservative arena like DC, what's a brief example of what that would be?
I think for me, personally, it starts with tailoring. I think a lot of men in DC I've seen wear boxy, off-the-rack suits that haven't been tailored to their personal fits. I think that makes a big difference. I would love to see more experimentation with fabrics, with print, with color, with layering, even accessorizing. I think that can really dress up a look.
I think you're right. I think part of what makes men's or cause men's fashion to be somewhat drab or somewhat stale is because of the lack of accessorizing. For some reason, men perhaps think that they don't have to, or they can't, or it may not be accepted. So we need to have more of that. So you think if it was available and accessible, a lot of men would embrace that genre of dressing?
I think there's also an element of education that has to happen. I think that accessorizing can be new to a lot of men, and because it's new, it can be a little scary as well. But I think if men are shown how to accessorize and how a certain bag can be a great asset for your wardrobe in terms of functionality too. Perhaps it fits your laptop and has room for books and other things that you need. I think thinking about it that way can certainly help expand adoption of things like accessorizing.
I completely agree. And let's going back to the boxer suits. Do you think men are doing that? Is it a fashionable thing in the minds of men, or is it just what's available, or is it just designers? It's not a designer thing anymore. It's just coming off. What's your thought? Tell me a little bit what you think about the boxer suit issue.
I think it's just easy. I think it's just easy to go to, a Joseph A. Bank or Brooks Brothers and pick out a suit because you just need a suit. And I think that, if you just need a suit, you're not really putting much more thought into it beyond I need a suit. Maybe I need a dark suit. So I think that, by thinking a little deeper about a suit and how it fits, for example, or how you can make it more versatile depending on the type of fabric that you purchase, or if you do separates, you get a jacket and slacks that you mix and match. I think there are other ways to think about a suit, outside of just buying something off the rack. But yeah, to your question, I do think that it's just easy, and a lot of men fall into what's easy, particularly if they aren't ones to shop.
So that they don't want to have to think about it.
Right.
But if they actually saw it there ready-made, properly done, they would embrace it. Or do you think the educational aspect should be more pronounced first before it's there, or is it simultaneous, or just put it out there and then?
Yeah, it's maybe a bit simultaneous. For example, if somebody's going into a shop to look at a suit, maybe the shop assistant is helping with accessorizing or showing alternatives for layering, or how a suit can be mixed and matched with other pieces. I think that kind of taking into account that point of interaction with a male shopper is important. Because, like I said, I think so many just go in and out. They have a to-do list, and getting a suit is on that list, and so they check it off. But I think there's a bit more that can go into the styling.
And I mean, for you, you're an artist, and you happen to be a male artist, and so it's almost easy for you to see that, or even go and embrace that. But what do you think about the men that their minds are on politics? Although they may want to consider fashion, but it's like perhaps one of the last things on their mind. However, when they do see it. So DC, experimentally, would probably be a great place, right, to start. Places like New York, for example, it's already a very creative place. You're just very creatively, naturally, you're an artist. Places like New York and LA, it's already there. So here, I'm just thinking, would probably be the place to start new initiative in men's fashion, because we're doing simultaneously education as well as introduction. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I agree. I think it's a great opportunity. I think that there's also room for that to grow here. I think that in terms of people engaged in politics, you should want a look that makes you more memorable, that has you stand out, so that when you are having a meeting with a member of Congress or with a client, they remember you, and there's something about you that they can't quite put their finger on, but they know they like it.
Right.
And to me, I think that fashion helps communicate these cues to us.
Right, 100%. I mean, I think also, even if we go back in history, in our political history in America, I think at some point the most fashionable politician was in fact the most dynamic, most memorable, and sought after and copied. I want to go out and say that. So DC looks like a place that's up and coming. I think in the future or the not so distant future, right? Do you feel it? We're
I
going to
definitely
be
do.
doing amazing things here, and the world is going to be looking here. So I'm happy to be here. I'm so happy to be talking to you. I can foresee that we're going to be talking again. Is that true?
Sure.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing great things and bringing more of the world to DC, bringing more fashion here to DC. Adding a men's dress will be added to it, and yeah. So I want to thank you a lot. You have any last words that you want to add, that you want to say to the guys out there? I mean, I love what you said, you know, about standing out and being memorable in your dress.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe I'll just, add to that in that, to stand out and to be memorable in how you're dressed doesn't have to mean stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Right.
If you're someone who just doesn't feel comfortable in stripes, for example, you don't have to wear stripes to stand out, but there are things that you can do, such as looking at your tailoring or, mixing and matching pieces that you already own and like, and kind of remixing them in new ways. It's really just about thinking creatively about your personal presentation and how you want to step out into the world.
Awesome. Listen, thank you so much, Josef. I'm happy to meet you here, and we hope to see you again in another A Man Dressed interview. All right, thanks a lot. So long. Bye.
Bye.